Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem HaRakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of the millstone of the world, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of Syrian truth, pushing this word to the four corners. Just a quick to the point, just going into May Day, since basically now it's April 30th, so it'll be tomorrow, will be the day it comes in, and it'll even start from tonight in certain places. And it's basically one of those things of what a heathen practice, a heathen custom that especially now in the modern age, all these things have been adapted into like modern day Christianity. And but even then, you've had people basically going back into their pagan roots and you know worshiping it, celebrating it in the old ways. That's why you have in Edinburgh, you've had for like the last good few years, they'll do a proper fire festival, Beltane festival on the day. And even in Britain, they have the custom of the maypole on May 1st. You know, you get all the young girls to basically hold a bit of cloth attached to a pole, and then they all wind round it until the cloths become like a thread kind of thing around it. So these things are all heathen practices, and it goes back to ancient times, ancient dark demonic deities as they're called. So let me read this, Jeremiah 10:2. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Yeah, a big part of the celebration of May Day, as they call it, Beltane, is what is essentially celebrating spring, the coming of summer, these different things. It links up with what? Easter, which goes back to Ishtar, and it's the same. That's the same deity they're observant. And these things now, it's in modern day Christianity, which is why Good Friday to Easter Sunday and these things, you line up with the scriptures where it says 3 days, then it makes no sense. They don't apply. That's because why? It's essentially a different pagan practice. I'll read a bit of this. This is on ancient origins. And it says, May Day's weird and wonderful pagan roots. It says May 1st is an ancient Northern Hemisphere festival now known as May Day, which traditionally marked the return of summer. It's believed that the celebrations originated in agricultural rituals intended to ensure fertility for crops, held by the ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans, pagans. Later developments include the Celtic festival of Beltane and the Germanic festival of Walpurgis Night. Today, many customs still mark this ancient festival, including the gathering of wildflowers and the setting up of a decorated May tree or maypole around which people dance. It says people, but until maybe 3-4 years ago, it was always young virgin girls, 12, between 6 and 12 or whatever, that kind of age range. So I'll skip down to the Celtic Beltane. So it says Beltane, which means the return of the sun, is the Gaelic May Day festival. Historically, it was widely observed throughout Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. Its festivities began on the night before May 1st. It fell out of practice in most areas around the 19th century, but was resurrected in 1988 at one of the most popular Beltane celebrations, the annual fire festival, which takes place in Edinburgh, Scotland. The ancient Celts believed the sun was held prisoner during winter months, only to be released each spring to rule the summer day. And that's something that the Greeks, I believe, had as well. I can't remember the bitch's name, but Hades stole Thingy's daughter, man. Let me quickly check for it. Because Hades, it would basically be, I think it's Persephone. Yeah, Persephone. And then, she was a goddess of harvest, spring vegetation. So yeah, Hades nabbed her, and then it's like, just from the ancient Greek kind of customs were like spring was when she escaped, and then she'll bring back spring, because during winter it's like while she was gone, that's why nothing would grow, etc. So it's essentially same pagan practices coming back, and that's all these things are. To rule the summer sky. Okay. The ancient Celts believed the sun was held prisoner during winter months, only to be released each spring to rule the summer sky, and they celebrated this mythic release with fire ceremonies and a huge feast to mark the occasion. In this Celtic take on May Day, rituals were performed to protect cattle, crops and people, and to encourage growth. Beltane was a time to rejoice in the return of the land's fertility, and it was also the time when livestock would be out to pasture. It's a key moment in the pagan wheel of the year. Beltane, which roughly translates as bright fire, was traditionally a time when special bonfires were kindled and their flames, smoke and ashes were deemed to have protective powers. That's, and that's the thing, is people are gonna celebrate these in the modern day. They're like, there's people now, like now, May Day, the maypole, these things are just viewed as English traditions, but it's all paganism, and that's a lot of things. It's more or less all the dates that you have throughout the year. It's always about what the pagan origins. I read this Deuteronomy 4 and 15. It says, "Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord Yahweh spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth." And that's what the majority of these idols are. They're basically just going to be worshipping something that's just on the earth, some form of, they might be worshipping satellites in the sky and whatnot, and that's always what they're giving a reverence to, rather than giving it to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says verse 19, "Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy power hath divided unto all the nations under the whole heaven." Yeah, so all like the job for the heathen is that's the things that they observe. We've been given Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's what we worship. That's where our faith is meant to lie. But hey, Jake is completely gone. They're all wrapped up in these things, man. They're in the church, bugged out. But yeah, I'll leave you there. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.